What up? It's Dramos, and this is the recap, of course, as I do each and every week, giving you the rundown of some of the biggest stories from this last week. Salute, as always, to our girl, B. Marie, who kills it on LA TV mornings via our IG Live. She breaks things down every day, and then, of course, each and every weekend, I'll take some of the biggest stories that she covered, and we'll kind of dive into them a little bit deeper. As I usually do, I have a guest on today's show. It is my guy, Buuoy, out of Puerto Rico. Really dope artist and YouTuber, doing a lot of cool things, and shameless plug. Him and I have a song that just came out on Friday together. So, you know, we're doing our thing. But before he hops on, let's, of course, touch on just some of the bigger stories that I really want to dive into now. It wouldn't be 2020 if we didn't have a Donald Trump story. Now, thank God, only, I don't know how many days exactly, but a few weeks left of 2020, less than a month, which is absolutely amazing given all of the BS we've had to deal with this year. Now, the more recent BS has been this election and the alleged voter fraud, as Donald Trump and his team are trying to prove. So this last week during a Michigan House panel, Donald Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, he unveiled what was their star witness for proving voter fraud in the 2020 election.
The poll book is completely off. Completely off.
Off by 30,000?
I'd say that poll book is off by over 100,000. That poll book... Why don't you look at the registered voters on there?
Bruh, somebody needs to come collect their drunk aunt, because it sounds like she may have had just a little bit too much coquito this holiday season, man. That was their star witness. That's what they put out there into the world for us to see, to make us believe this voter fraud. And what I found to be the most entertaining part of this, because at this point we just have to look at it as like satire and comedy, was the fact that it almost seemed like it was too much for even Rudy Giuliani.
My question then is, if the...
Guess how many, wait, what about the turnout rate? 120%?
Like, you know it's bad when Rudy Giuliani has to take a break from wiping the hair paint out his eyes to try and calm you down. And you just watch these things and you say, this can't be real life. And then you remember, it's 2020. Now, of course, one of the other gigantic stories that has plagued us this year is COVID. And unfortunately, man, we are seeing outbreaks happening in record numbers across the country. And this has caused cities and states to impose even stricter guidelines and more restrictions. Some cities are moving towards even complete lockdowns. But at least we have a bit of good news, which I'm happy to say that it seems like the vaccine is right around the corner. At least the initial phases of beginning to distribute it. Now, even in the UK, they actually have beaten us to approval. They will begin distributing the vaccine this upcoming week to some of their essential workers, their healthcare workers. The good thing about that is, though, that the company they used, Pfizer, it's actually the same company that produced the drug here in the US. So we are at a really good place where it seems like this month, from what they're predicting, the first responders, the healthcare workers will begin to get, the first doses of the vaccine. And then as the months go on, the rest of the country will receive that distribution. So, man, fingers crossed, we are moving towards, putting this whole nightmare behind us and getting back to hopefully living some sort of a normal life, or at least being able to kind of pick up the pieces and move forward and get back to normal, man. That's all I can say. That's all I want. Now, before I dive into any more COVID talk, I do want to bring on this week's guest. So my guest this week helped me break down some more stories. He is a music artist who's worked with heavyweights like Ozuna. He has a very popular YouTube channel and vlog. And his latest track, Oh No, is alongside yours truly. And it's out everywhere right now. My guy, Buuoy, how we doing, bro?
Yo, what up?
It's
all good,
bro?
I was just telling you, I just finished editing my vlog for today.
Nice.
So,
Putting that work.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we'll get into all that because I definitely want to talk about the vlog. Before we do, though, I want to kind of cover a few current events from this last week and see what you think, if that's cool.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, cool. I mean, obviously, man, I was talking about COVID earlier in the show. So, I mean, I want to get your perspective, man. This vaccine, that was the big news, man, that they're going to probably start distributing it pretty soon. How are you feeling? Are you nervous about it? You excited? What are you thinking?
I mean, with all this Walking Dead stuff, in the backside of our heads,
Yeah.
we're always gonna be like a little bit skeptical about all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it. We need that. I need to be out and not feel like I'm gonna die.
Right.
That's
the
like
worst part.
that's a very scary thought that I can say that everyone has right now.
Mhm.
COVID is like death.
Yeah.
That's how the media and everything sells it to you. So yeah, I'm pretty scared about that. So I'm more scared about what could happen if I get infected, and not just because of me, but because of my grandparents and
Of course.
and my kid. So yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely nervous about it, but at this point, what options do we have, right? Like, I want to start getting back to living normal life. And I mean,
Right.
It's been happening around here, the U.S. and the States. Like, certain cities are now locking down again. I know Puerto Rico, I think I saw they're starting to impose strict guidelines again, like lockdowns on Sundays or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but I think weekends are like they have what they call in Spanish ley seca.
Mm-hmm.
That basically means you can buy alcohol and you got to be at your house by I think 8 p.m.
Wow.
And yeah, so
It's pretty strict.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how has it been though? Like, you creating and stuff like that. Do you feel like, because it's interesting, I kind of feel like for me, I've been more creative this last year because there's been less kind of noise, less BS, you know what I mean?
Right.
Less things to kind of distract me. So I've been, you come home and you work on things and that's really all you can do. For you though, I mean, have you been more creative this year, or do you think it kind of hurt you a little bit?
I've had to how do you say me he tenido que reinventar, you know what I mean? I've had to like
Reinvent
figure
yourself.
out to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do. So yeah, it's been a great challenge. But creatively, yeah, I think I like broke this barrier that I had on my head about what could happen.
Yeah.
And for example, I thought I wasn't gonna be able to vlog. Like it was gonna be impossible at the beginning of quarantine, and I've been able to do it daily.
Yeah.
And with the music, I have my home studio, so I just record myself. So yeah, I've been pretty productive and creatively just I've gone viral a couple of times, and I met you during this whole
during this whole process, yeah.
And we got that track. Oh no, that's just a banger. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, man. I think if you're smart enough and you're focused enough, it's been a great opportunity to just take advantage of things. And I think, like you said, man, reinvent yourself. Like, really try new things, because you can't really make mistakes right now. You know what I mean? Everybody is trying to figure out what's the right thing to do right now. And I think even if you look at like Zoom, you know what I mean? Like what we're using right now to record this, like the way that technology has been advancing, man, it's giving us so many more opportunities to be creative,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which, I mean, and speaking of, I mean, so somebody who hasn't slowed down, I want to get your perspective on this, being you're actually in Puerto Rico and an artist from Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny almost seems like he put in more work and more things out over this last year than ever before.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, his new album that came out this last week, I mean, I think first and foremost, what do you think, Bad Bunny means to Puerto Rico? Like, as somebody there, like, how do you guys look at him?
He's first of all, he's an inspiration, I think pretty much all my Instagram friends that I see on the stories, they started posting their the first artist in their list of Spotify, the most heard artist in all of 2020.
Yeah.
and it's all Bad Bunny.
Right.
Even my top artist this year is Bad Bunny. So yeah, he's like, I think the perfect word is inspiration, man.
Yeah.
And he's like very cultural, and he takes the Puerto Rican flag and puts it, you know, on the top of the list. So yeah, it's mind blowing, really, to see him just be in the top of the charts globally.
Right, of any genre, not even just Latin music, but everything, man.
He's doing whatever he wants with just the music industry in general. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I love it.
I'm so proud to see it as well. But it is interesting because we had like a good wave when it came to like the Daddy Yankee era and the Don Omar era, right? When they were really killing it. But what Bad Bunny's doing is way bigger than anything those guys did. I mean, they obviously were the, you know, pioneers of that, but he's taken it and made it even bigger. What do you think it is about him as an artist that is connecting bigger than anything we've seen before when it comes to a Latin music artist like that?
I think it's just the creative drive that he has. And when Daddy Yankee and Don Omar were like huge, they were huge in the reggaeton industry. Like their priority was to make reggaeton like a statement, right? A musical statement. Meanwhile, Bad Bunny, he started off as a trap artist, right? As a Latin trap artist. But suddenly he switched to reggaeton, and then he switched to other flows, and he like he just, I don't know, he sobresalió en todo, ¿me entiendes? So yeah, it's just his creativeness, man. He's just on another level. And yeah,
it's beautiful. I mean, but what's crazy to me is even outside of music, his influence has shown up in the fashion. Like you walk around Puerto Rico now, and I was there earlier this year and at the end of last year, and you could see the influence that he's had kind of bringing a lot of this like streetwear culture and this fashion culture over to Puerto Rico as well. You know, like in Calle Loíza, you see the different shops popping up and the kids kind of dressing like him, man. That it's crazy to just see this level of influence, you know?
Yeah. And he started off just by wearing like really short pants.
Right.
That was like the first thing that everybody was like, what's wrong with this guy?
That was the first time I ever saw him. I didn't even had never heard a record from him. I just saw a picture, him wearing these short little jean shorts. And I was like, what is going on? Who is this guy, you know?
Yeah. And suddenly it became like another thing. He started like being this, I don't know, this icon of the fashion industry too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you think it's opened the doors for a lot of other artists from Puerto Rico to come out of that now?
Yeah. It demonstrated that you don't have to be this tough looking underground underdog. I don't know if you know if I'm saying it right.
Of course.
But yeah, it's like a statement of you can be whoever you want to be, whoever you are. You know, you don't have to pretend to be this I don't know, this drug dealer in order to
well, I think that's what it is
to be successful.
Because the old school like you know, guys who are doing reggaeton, it was like ghetto, you know what I mean? It was rooted in like this gangster kind of, you know, persona and lifestyle, you know, and that's the way they dressed, the way they looked and what they talked about. Where I think if we really broke it down, he's somebody who, you know, opened the door for everybody to kind of feel like they're accepted and they can be a part of it, you know?
Yeah. That's
beautiful.
it.
I mean, dude, the thing I think I love, and we'll move on from Bad Bunny after this, but I think the amount of love he gets is, you know, a reflection of how much love he puts out there for his people. You know what I mean?
Right. He's
and
very
that's
respectful
why you're seeing it.
Of all, how do you say, you know, women and LGBTQ community and you know, he's been very spoken about things that have affected Puerto Rico politically and you know, so yeah, people feel a real connection with him, and not just because of his music, but because of the kind of person he is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I mean, let's talk about, the stuff that you're working on as well as an artist over there. I want to touch on the vlogs that you do, because I was catching a few of them. They're hilarious. And I saw, do you do them daily, or how often do you put them out?
Yeah, daily. I try,
Right.
but yeah, I've been very consistent this past few days.
Which is crazy. I love it. So your grandparents are a big part of your vlog.
Yeah.
So I saw the one where you blindfolded them and took them to the strip club.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone too far where they got pissed off of you over something you did?
Well, I thought that was the one that was going to be the one that was like me being like crazy.
Yeah.
But they loved it. I don't know. I thought my grandpa, I knew he was gonna have a great time, but
Right.
I thought my grandma, once she saw, she started seeing this almost naked women dancing on my grandpa and her, she was gonna be like pissed. But she had a great time, man. She had a better time than my grandpa.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah, no, we have a really great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been living with them since, forever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know. People always ask me like, how do you do it? And
Right.
it's just natural, man. It's the vibe we have. So,
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I love it that there's such good sports about it. I mean, but I'm curious because like I've always been like, all right, maybe I'll start a vlog one day or something like that. But bro, to put it out consistently and to come up with ideas on what you want to do to make it interesting for people to watch, like how are you constantly just coming up with ideas on what you want to do? Because that's tough to do, especially if you're doing it every day.
I've been studying like other YouTubers, like consistently, like every day I just sit maybe half an hour because I don't have that much time, but from half an hour to an hour and a half, just watching and taking notes. I have a note on my cell phone, and every idea that pops up, I just write it down, and that's it. I have this group of friends that are also funny, and we have these conversations that way before the vlogs were always like, a great time. So I said, why not? Let's record it and just put it out there. And it's like a puzzle,
Yeah.
I take like small bits of some conversation with some of this group of friends, and then I take this conversation with my family, and then I make a bit, and then we go to the strip club, and I try to keep it like very dynamic.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love that, and I think that what's interesting, man, in 2020 as an artist, you can't just be one thing, right? You have to be so many different things. There's very few people who can just be a musician and that's it. You have to also be a person. People want to connect with you on a much deeper level than just listening to your music, man. I mean, do you ever feel like you're putting too much of yourself out there?
Originally, because I've been on and off YouTube for a couple of years now. Right. And when I started, people started to say that because it was a little bit more personal because they were about me and my life and what I did every day. Right. And yeah, I had like people comment on that, like, aren't you being a little too open about your life? Aren't you gonna like bore your fans? And like it was an issue at first, but then I started seeing how the numbers kept going up and how people loved it, and I don't think it's an issue now because when next year when I put out my music and people start to recognize me because of my music, they're gonna wanna know a little bit more about me, and they're gonna go onto YouTube or Google and search, and they're gonna find all this great content. Yeah. And I see it like from my point of view as a fan, and I love, let's say like Eminem to have like 200 vlogs on YouTube where I can sit back and just, have a great time watching his stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel it's like a great step for me because it makes me more of a competition for other artists that are coming up. Because if I'm daily and I'm putting out great music, then you gotta, if I'm putting out 7 vlogs a week, you're gonna have to put 8 vlogs a week and make great music and write awesome bars, So yeah, it's like an investment of my time and creativity.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's actually a great way of looking at it, man. Investing your time, your creativity. It's important. And I think, like you said, I think at first it is weird because even myself, just like, being open and honest about talking about my feelings on the internet, it's weird at first because, you start thinking, oh, my parents are going to see this or my friend's going to see this or that, but the reality is that once you start putting it out there and you see that people become connected to you and you realize that other people feel the same way, it's almost like, what, at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter if, it's weird at first for my friends and my parents to hear me talking in this way, because it's actually impacting people. You know what I'm saying? People are actually connecting with the things that I'm doing and I'm saying. I think that's what the important part about it is.
Yeah, and I've had like comments of people saying like, thank you for doing this, because I've had like a really tough time with this COVID and quarantine stuff. So this is like como que los ayuda a despejarse la mente, you know? So yeah, that's like one of the best rewards, you can get from putting on that all that work daily.
Yeah.
So
nah, I love that, bro. I mean, so I know you said you're planning on what? Some new music in the new year, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah. I've been thinking about when, cause I have enough music for an album already.
Wow.
And and I'm not sure if I want to put it out like as an album by maybe the 25th of December, as a Christmas present or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe wait for next year to just start on January, or maybe just start throwing my music out as singles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I want to make the right move, and not how do you waste all of that time I've spent making that music. So yeah, I want to make the right move.
I got you. I mean, well, listen, bro, I love it. I mean, you absolutely killed it on our song. I'm so happy about the way it came out. I've been hearing some amazing reactions thus far. So I appreciate you for hopping on that, bro. And I'm excited to hear what else you got coming up in these next few months and the next year.
Yeah. We're gonna make it,
Yes. I love it.
One way or another, we're gonna make it.
Absolutely,
so
bro.
Thanks for that.
Of course, brother. Of course. Always good talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Man, salute my guy Buuoy out of Puerto Rico. Absolutely killed it. And, shameless plug. Our song, Oh No, is out everywhere right now, all streaming platforms. So, go check it out. Show some support. We would definitely appreciate it. And make sure you give him a follow. Check out his vlog, his YouTube channel. He's hilarious. So you gotta definitely make sure you check that out. Now, before I get out of here, as I always do, I want to leave us, with some positivity this weekend and give us a positive quote to do so. Now, my quote this week, it comes to us from Rosario Dawson. And the quote is, "You only live once. You don't want your tombstone to read, played it safe." And I'll say that again. You only live once. You don't want your tombstone to read, played it safe. And I love this quote. And it kind of ties into what Buuoy and I were talking about, where he talks about the inspiration that somebody like Bad Bunny provides the people of Puerto Rico and the artists of Puerto Rico, that they can achieve great things. And man, this year is a gift, and there's so many terrible things, of course, that have happened. And my heart goes out to anybody that's lost a loved one or has been impacted by this, whether it be health-wise or financially. But at the same time, nobody really has any expectations this year. We're all kind of starting over. We're all just figuring things out as we go and trying to make the best of it. And in those kinds of environments, you have the freedom to experiment and take risks and chase after the things that you've kind of had your eye on. So take advantage of it. Now is the time to not play it safe. There's really not much you can lose. The world is essentially at an almost standstill right now. Take the time, invest in yourself, and do the things that you've had on your mind and that have been, calling your heart, and see what happens. Now's the time to do it. And with that said, thank y'all so much for tuning in and supporting the show each and every week. Salute once again to our girl, B. Marie. Make sure you check out IG Live every single weekday morning, where she gives you LATV mornings, gives you the daily headlines. And then, of course, join me back here every Saturday as I break down some of those biggest stories. So until then, be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.